So you might be wondering, we were late. Maybe we weren't going to do a show tonight. Maybe you thought, I was going to take the night off. Maybe we didn't want to talk about what's going on in the world of the West Virginia Wrestling Federation. Not so fast, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, certainly a platform that our guest and the WVWF have most certainly helped build. Sportswire Radio to the tune of nearly 1,500 subscribers. And we have a lot to talk about here, especially when it comes to a battle royal for a tribute show and a hybrid champion to be crowned, plus a triple threat match for the West Virginia Wrestling Federation Championship, plus who knows whatever else. Now, the last few weeks, we have been talking plenty about the WVWF. And sure, you've heard some different names that have said some different things, but
His microphone went out.
go. Technology is an interesting thing here, but if you didn't hear what I said, we need law and order, not just for my microphone, but for our guests. So if you're here right now, let me know if you hear me because I'll holler to make sure you hear me. But since we do things a little differently on this platform for our guest, and I know he's heard a few of these shows, I know that he's tuned in, and I know that our chat is waiting for it, and you're probably waiting for it. I am going to give you an introduction to show you that you were here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, and famously, in the words of Def Leppard frontman Joe Elliott, let's get rocked, baby, and let's start this night in style on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time, without further ado, to introduce our guest. So with without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one cable sports show. A man that you might want to say is the law and order of the West Virginia Wrestling Federation. He is the general manager, and his name is, simply put, the Double L, the Loveable. My friend, how are we doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing after that?
You know what? My mic went out. My voice doesn't feel very good, But it doesn't matter because once I get into that introduction, there is nothing that can stop me. As I have even famously said, not even the man upstairs can stop that introduction. We've certainly prolonged them. The people like the war chants. We need them because we need law and order. And it is an absolute honor, sir, to meet you here tonight and get into all things related to the West Virginia Wrestling Federation because we have a big show coming up here next Saturday.
We sure do.
I'm excited about it, and we're going to certainly get into it. I'm going to put some posters up here and talk about some different things and certainly get into the chat, but I'll start off here nice and easy. For those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform that you, the Loveable Esther, the Double L, and the West Virginia Wrestling Federation most certainly helped build here, Sportzwire Radio, talk about the Ryan James Memorial Show next Saturday and what Ryan James meant to the West Virginia Wrestling Federation.
Well, that's a loaded question because he meant a lot to indie wrestling in this area in general. There was not a locker room that man didn't walk into. He didn't basically light it up. I mean, he was all about putting everybody before him, building everybody up. There's a lot of newcomers that attribute their careers to him. One of which, Wyatt Black, which you've had on here a few times. I mean,
he's going to be a topic here in a little while. Don't you worry.
Legitimately, dude, he credits almost, he dedicates like almost every match to Ryan. Or Nate. Nate Thompson was his real name, and tragically we lost him a few years back. But that, like I said earlier before we got started, I kind of went old school for him because he kind of helped out with the gimmick and everything. He's like, dude, you love trains and everything and all that. So I mean, he helped a lot of people. If you ask anybody in this area in West Virginia, he left an impact on anybody that he came in contact with legitimately.
And his impact, I'm sure, will make this a very emotional show next Saturday because of his impact and the legacy that he's left here, not only in the West Virginia wrestling scene, but for you guys as a whole in the WVWF.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I got the privilege of knowing him ever since he was a little kid, growing up, watching his Uncle Tom wrestle for NWA Tri-State over at Parkersburg City Park Pavilion. And, he'd always say, I'm going to be in there one of these days. And I said, I'll be right there in the audience watching you. And sure enough, he made it to that stage. And I was right there supporting him, just like I am all the WVWF talent. And I try to support all wrestling around West Virginia. I mean, TWA just had their memorial show last weekend as well. So I try to keep an eye on everybody out there, and support everybody. That's what my Facebook page says. So
I'm so glad that we've connected. And one of the things that's been my hallmark, which has put me here in contact with you and really has put my platform on a level of where we get these unbelievable individuals. And I'll be announcing an individual that's certainly pretty poetic. You mentioned TWA. You mentioned a big show this past week, in which I'm going to talk about in a little while. And it's those people that have tuned in and done so much for our sport and our community that have made this the only platform, I continue to say, where everybody comes on here. And that's been my hallmark, really. All wrestling matters. And there's no question to me, everybody matters as much as humanly possible here on this platform. And I really think that this show is going to showcase that. And I know for you, especially, I hope you won't shed a tear then here coming up this next Saturday.
Dude, I almost got emotional just talking about him
Well, we had Michael McMoney, who I know you're going to definitely get into in a little while, was definitely emotional in his own right. So I would really hope that you don't cry here on this platform because we do get the big names here. But obviously, very exciting times here in the WVWF. We have a Facebook page we want people to support. We also have a YouTube channel, which we definitely want people to get into. And, let's talk about a couple of things before I run into the card. I have the poster, which is taking me a little longer than I would like to put up, but I will have it up here very shortly. And let's talk about our champion here, Aaron James. And why he's remained on top and why he's at the forefront here in the West Virginia Wrestling Federation.
Well, I mean, I've known him on a personal level as well. Like I said, I've watched a lot of these guys, come in, start out, train, and all that. He definitely puts in the work in the ring and outside of the ring and helps take the newcomers under his wing and stuff like that. So I mean, he definitely tries to lead everybody in the right direction, and he's 100% trying to his best to make WVWF the best. He recently started that him and Antigone recently started, well, sorry, Phoebe Harper recently started the behind the curtain thing for us and everything, to try to give everybody a look of, a realistic thing behind the scenes, because all you see out there is the characters. You don't see the people behind the characters. So they're trying to get that going and all of that. But I guess in Aaron James's words, to be the best, you have to beat the best, and nobody's beat him yet.
Well, that's a topic that we're going to certainly get to, and I have a feeling I'm going to change my mic in a minute. But before I do that, we have a show here coming up next Saturday, which is the Ryan James Memorial. We have the Battle Royal. We have the poster for that. We have a number of different things. Aaron James is in action. Tickets are only, get this, $10. Doors open 6 o'clock. Bell time 7 p.m. And it's, of course, a familiar place that we talk about here all the time. I have it memorized, Mr. Double L, at this point. I can literally memorize this address almost like my home address all throughout my life. There's two addresses I've always had in my entire life: 422 78th Street, and obviously my other address, if I say, somebody will probably knock on the door too. But this is one of those addresses that I've now definitely remembered, which is 325 7th Street in beautiful Parkersburg, West Virginia, in the Richardson Building. And it is the Ryan James Memorial Show. We've got a Battle Royal. We've got a hybrid championship. We're going to crown Aaron James, who's going to be there. A lot of different things. And this is the first of a few posters. And I know that our champion is going to be in action. And I want to talk about that for the audience. And I want to talk about just your perspective on that, because we're going to see the champion here in action now against Damian Abel and Maverick with the championship on the line. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's got his work cut out for him. Cody Maverick is no laughing matter, and the Demon Damian Abel most definitely is not. Just ask Wyatt Black from last show.
Yes, I watched that match, by the way. I actually did watch it. Yeah, I did watch
so
it.
I mean, he's definitely, the cards are stacked against him right now. He's got a hard match ahead of him, so I hope he is training and eating his Wheaties, because these guys are no joke.
But you could say, though, that Abel doesn't really have the momentum. So, I mean, because technically Wyatt Black, defeated Mr. Abel, but Maverick is obviously going to be a part of that.
Well, now hold on. Was you watching? You said you watched that match.
Yes, I did. I did.
Mr. Abel disqualified himself, so Wyatt Black technically didn't pin him.
He didn't, but it's
Law and Order. So let's make sure
you're going to give us some Law and Order. I have a feeling tonight you're going to definitely address the Law and Order. But in these matches, I had a guy on a few weeks ago, Ramrock, who was defending his championship, and it was this famous Steiner man, 25% odds that he had to walk away with his championship, and unfortunately, the math went against him here. The champion here has a 33% chance, or a 33.3% chance here to walk away retaining his championship. So what do you think here that Aaron James needs to do to continue his run as the WVWF champion?
He definitely needs to come hard. He definitely needs to make sure he's on top of his game, because I mean, it has been a while since we've seen him in action, and you got your so many day clause to defend that title. So it's coming up. So, he has to do this. And if I know the Aaron James I know, that's been around for years, he's definitely coming. And he's no joke himself, or he wouldn't be the champion.
No question about that. And you can look at it and saying that the champion is the incumbent. He has the incumbent's advantage. and that could carry him here coming up next Saturday to continue his run as the WVWF champion.
Right.
Well, we'll certainly see. I want to come back to something else that you mentioned, which is these kind of behind the ring shows that we're seeing on the WVWF YouTube page. I'm going to put that up here for a few minutes. And I mean, how do you feel about that? Because it's interesting. You mentioned it. I played it on here a few times on Sportswire, and it's kind of something that you don't really see from wrestling companies. You don't
Yeah.
often
Yeah. I mean,
talk
it's
about that.
like you'll hear a lot of us that come from here. It's kind of like a new era. I mentioned in that they did an interview with me that a while back. We kind of lost our name due to some things that we're not really contractually allowed to talk about. So,
Yeah,
but
let's not do that anyway.
yeah,
Let's
yeah,
let's not do that.
but what I was going to say in that aspect, we can kind of thank them because it got people to step up. It got people to want to do better. It got people into training. It got people to want to, make themselves and the company better and the business statewide look better.
Sure.
Are we like WWE caliber? No, but we're a stepping stone to get these guys in here. And
You gotta start somewhere in life. Listen, I mean,
yeah,
not everybody
WVWF.
is born like a Randy Orton. Not everybody's born like
Right,
the Hearts. You gotta
right,
you gotta learn somewhere. I always tell people famously, I started on a Skype call. Now Skype no longer is a thing. You have to learn, and
right.
it's companies like your company, Double L, that give wrestlers that
Yes.
opportunity to showcase their talents.
Yeah, our owner, Greg Shriver, Wildcat, he gives a lot of people a chance that most people wouldn't give a chance. I mean, if you watch our show, there's quite a few people there that you'd think, okay, I probably wouldn't normally see them elsewhere, but he gives them the opportunity to try to live out their dream. Some people come, some people go. You know, so it's just it's
You
like
never
I
know
don't know.
until you step foot out there.
Yeah,
Listen, I mean,
yeah. Because
Michael Jordan was
who would
cut
have thought a
famously from
fan?
his high school basketball team. You got to try. At first,
Right.
you don't
Who
try. And you got to succeed. That's all.
right? Who would have thought a fan, a loudmouth fan like me, that the owner has known since middle school, and he deemed me the mouth of West Virginia as a fan because, he I would just be the loudest guy in the crowd. He'd say. He would tell his new people that coming in. He told me that he would. There's one guy out there in that audience. You'll know who he is. He's going to make or break you. And as soon as they come out there, and they'd start hearing, they'd know who he was talking about. And
Sure.
he just nicknamed me the mouth of West Virginia, which is kind of like the alter ego of Loveable Lester. He's more down to business, in your face. I mean, you tell it like it is, guy. You know, he doesn't come out very often, but when he does, it's game
Well,
on.
as I said, you're the guy that's going to provide law and order here tonight. You're the guy that
I try
is
my
going to
best.
certainly tell us that you're trying, you're doing a really good job. And I put up here, by the way, which is from the WVWF YouTube channel, their most recent video behind the ring from April Warfare, which we talked a little bit about here on Sportswire Radio over the past few weeks. And you can see some of that there. Please hit the sub button for our friends in the WVWF because they are starting from the ground up. And that's what it's all about, starting from the ground up and giving people opportunities. There's a lot of people I know in the chat that will want to talk, and I'm going to get to everybody here shortly. Plus, I have some of the posters that I have put up, and you talked about some of the training that we're seeing people in, and I'm going to
Yeah.
get to a couple of individuals here in a few minutes that I know will definitely be topics here, but really cool stuff. I've gotten a chance to watch some of this. I really recommend that you do as well and support our friends here coming up, and especially getting an inside look on these behind the rings. I mean, just really cool stuff. I know I've been doing this a long time. I've been doing this 6.5 years, and I think I've seen maybe one or two companies in my career do something like this, but not really the company, but rather the wrestler. I had a guy that would come on here and kind of vlogged with these experiences. I really think that this is a good experience, almost like a day in the life of what it's like to be in the WVWF, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It gives you behind the scenes to show all the stuff that goes into this, and a lot of people will tell you WVWF, you'll not find any more heart in any other locker room. I mean, there's heart
Yep.
in other locker rooms, but there's a lot of heart, camaraderie, more like a family vibe.
Hmm.
We don't always get along. We don't always see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, we do what's best for business, and we can go out there and work together and put on a good show for the fans, because without the fans, what are we doing? You know, because
Absolutely. Listen,
like I
without
was saying
people
earlier,
supporting,
the fans are it, and you will not see me trying to put myself over at any point, because I'm not that person. I will put over each and every person in that locker room. They always People say that I'm the face of the company or something like that, and I'm just like, nah, you guys are the faces. You guys are the ones that's out there wrestling and doing this. All I'm doing is helping you tell the stories. Because if you
right?
and I always tell them, you got to believe what you're selling, or they're not going to buy it.
Sure. No, listen, there's no question that you guys all work hard, and I love the idea of heart and blue collar. That's pretty much how I think a lot of what my platform is, and there is no question that I will show my appreciation in a little while for that. I will definitely get to some people here in the chat. So yeah, you can watch some of this. You can see the aforementioned Wyatt Black. You can certainly see some of the other people here in the WVWF, and we are here with the Double L. He is the general manager, the mouth of West Virginia, and please support them. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally. We're all music and wrestling matters. If you're here, you'd like to hit the sub button for us, I'd appreciate that. Let me ask you one more question on the WVWF before I change topics a little bit. I want to talk about the card here coming up next Saturday. Plus, I want to present something to you, and I want to get into the chat. What are your goals here with the West Virginia Wrestling Federation here coming up?
Well, the main thing with this show, we're taking a different approach. We're trying to look at it as, what would Ryan do? What would Ryan
Mhm.
want to see? So we're trying to do a show that would make him proud, and try to incorporate a lot of stuff that he would have liked, instead of just going out there and just doing a few moves and, like a normal show. This is dedicated to somebody that has touched all of us in some sort of way. So we want to do the best we can in a positive way, to memorialize him, and make him proud. you know
Well, I think he's going to definitely be very proud of some of these talents here coming up. There is no question that that is going to be something we'll all be very proud to see coming up next Saturday. But I had the poster up for it a few minutes back, and I wanted to talk to you about the Battle Royal here coming up.
yeah.
So, what can we expect here in the Battle Royal next Saturday?
Well, expect the unexpected. You never know who's going to show up, because, I mean, we kind of open that up to anybody that wants to be a part of that,
Hmm.
from other companies and everything else. So, if they want to come in and try to be a part of that, in memory of him, then, um, by all means, you know.
Hmm.
So that's what we're wanting to do, is memorialize him and remember him, because the impact he left behind, dude. None of us want to ever forget that.
No, you won't. Trust me. I have no doubt that you won't, but this could be open to anybody then. So anybody who doesn't even work in the WVWF could show up, and this could be quite a springboard for them maybe to
It
win the
is. That's
battle
what I say.
royal.
Expect the unexpected. You never know who's going to show up for this thing. Different people show up every year for it. I'd have to get with the owner to see if there's a set amount of people that we're allowed to use before I go and say, oh yeah, and have like 50 to 100 people show up. We don't have enough time in the night. So they should probably
Yeah.
message the WVWF's Wildcat
Yeah.
page and ask before showing up to make sure we have a spot.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think that we want to spam the WVWF
Yeah,
Facebook page or the
right,
Double L, because then at that point it won't be any fun. I mean, we will
right,
see a couple of surprises, but then when it's
right,
too many surprises, it almost becomes it's almost the spoiled. It's so yeah,
right.
definitely check out their Facebook page, give them a follow, and I'm very excited about the battle royal. So maybe we'll use a term that the guest that came on yesterday in your chair, Double L, James Taylor would always say, the nemesis James Taylor, and never say never. So never say never in what's to come here in the
Right.
WVWF. And we'll, I'm sure, definitely get to that. But, I want to talk about something with you here, and I want to spend some time on it because it's really been a big topic on this platform of late these last few weeks. And I think what I'm about to get into because you're supposed to provide law and order here tonight. And I'm talking about a match between two men that have had quite a back and forth. And I already referenced one who technically has a victory over Damian Abel. And I'm talking about in a tournament here for the hybrid championship. I'm talking about Michael McMoney and Wyatt Black. And I know you and Mr. Black have had a little bit of a back and forth here in the chat not too long ago.
Absolutely.
And you certainly have
All
had
the
a back
time.
and
All
forth
the
with
time.
him. Yeah, I was going to get into that. So I really want to talk about it now. And I want to get your feelings on this match. McMoney, I mean, listen, he had quite a bit to say about Wyatt Black. So for those that are listening and watching here, one of the two matches in the hybrid championship tournament in the semifinals, I'd like to hear what you have to say between Wyatt Black and Michael McMoney.
Well, that's interesting because, like him or hate him, McMoney brings it every time he steps in the ring. But again, like him or hate him, so doesn't Wyatt Black. Um, Both of them got mouths. Both of them know how to rub people the wrong way. I mean, it's going to be real interesting to see how this goes. And Wyatt Black's been talking a lot of smack. Is that the word they use nowadays about
Well,
McMoney?
he's the
So
controversial one. He's the
yeah,
one that brings controversy. And, his last
oh,
name is
he
shared with
definitely
the name
does.
his last name Black has been shared with names on my platform that built this platform, like the likes
Well
of
aware.
Roman Black, the IMF World Heavyweight Champion, Raina Black, who, oh, by the way, was just a part of Pro Wrestling Double X. She's a part of Enterprise and Amplified Wrestling alongside her husband, Eric Black, who, is a pretty accomplished figure in his own right, trained out of the CZW dojo. Then there's this guy, CJ Black, the good guy. They call him a 7-star superstar. And he's certainly got to live up to the last name of the people that have come onto my platform, and he's trying hard to do it. But then there's Michael McMoney, who wants to be a Grand Slam champion here in the WVWF.
Yeah, he's working on it, isn't he?
He is, and he had a lot to say about that. And Wyatt Black has talked about Michael McMoney's son, and he's talked
Yeah,
about he
he's
should be the
making it
Michael
personal.
McMoney. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly more than words here. I mean,
Yeah,
what
it's
do you think,
definitely became
though?
it became personal, and when it gets personal, that's when McMoney's the most dangerous. I mean, I've watched him for years. I'm sure if you ask him, we've known each other for quite some time.
Sure.
I've watched him. I don't know how you want to say it, when he's the top of the game more when he's a heel than he is the face, because I've seen him try to be a face and it just doesn't seem like his heart's into it
Well,
as
how did you
much.
feel about what some have perceived as this disrespect toward him? And he's talked about the fans here, and he's been very vocal, at least on this platform, and he certainly was vocal a little bit at the most recent WVWF shows.
Yeah.
So, what do you think in terms of how that's going to play into next Saturday?
Well, I'm not real sure what disrespect he's talking about, because I mean, we all welcomed him back with open arms, even the fans did. And then all of a sudden, things just wasn't going the way he wanted them, and he went to the left, I guess, or however you want to call it. And now he thinks everybody's against him and disrespecting him. But I mean, I've watched his career. I've nothing but respect for him. But like you said, there's some law and order, and
You're
as
in a
the general
difficult
manager,
spot
I
here
have to
right
make
now. I mean, you're in a very difficult spot here because
absolutely. As a general
McMahon.
manager, I got to call things down the middle and try to be as impartial as
And you
possible.
know Wyatt Black has been very vocal towards you, and McMoney, well, he's been pretty much vocal toward everybody in the WVWF. But I mean,
I
Wyatt Black
mean,
is the one that he's been winning match after match. Wildcat, Judo Jones, Damian Abel, Riku Phoenix. I mean, we've seen what
Riku
happened there. I
St.
mean,
Helen.
yeah, Riku St. Helen. I mean,
Yes.
listen, Wyatt Black is the one right now that, I mean, he is, whether you like him or not, he's making waves, and he's talked about what it would mean to him to win the hybrid championship. So we know
Yeah.
what it means to make money.
It
I
would
mean,
mean a lot to that kid. I'm telling you.
so I mean, listen, they both have something to gain here.
Yeah.
McMoney,
And they
you
both
know,
have something to lose here, so
but well, Wyatt Black is the one right now that, from what you're saying, maybe he's playing with house money because McMoney, he's chasing history, right? He's
yeah.
chasing history of becoming a Grand Slam winner. You know, he's called himself the greatest wrestler in West Virginia wrestling history here, and to
Yeah,
win
he
the
sure
hybrid
did.
championship, that would solidify that. I would have to think.
Yes, and if you question him like I did at the last show and maybe mentioned somebody else's name that had been around much longer and carried a lot of titles, you might get. I mean, Wyatt Black's got to watch because I know what it's like to be knocked on your keister by McMoney. So that happened last show. So
Now, apparently, you are the law and order. Now, apparently, you've obviously been kind of very fair tonight. You have definitely laid out that you are going to provide that. You're going to be very objective down the middle, and we appreciate that. That's any good general manager. But I have received word here tonight that there is somebody from the WVWF roster that wants to address you and has a few words before next Saturday. And I'm obliged to bring this person on, but you are the law and order. So this might be in particular your moment, Double L, to provide that law and order as you said you were going to here tonight.
I do my best.
All right. Well, if you allow me to, I'm going to bring on our guest here, who certainly has plenty to say.
I mean,
and he's
it's
here
your show, brother.
well, he will certainly be a name that I'm sure is going to draw some controversy because he's here. The controversy king, Wyatt Black, is back once again. And my friend,
Welcome
happy
back.
Tuesday. Yeah, welcome back. He's back for a third time here at Sportzwire.
He's nice to me for once. Thank you, Double L. Thank you.
How you doing, my friend? What brings you here this time on Sportswire Radio?
Well, I mean,
Do tell.
You talked about it. I beat Damian Abel. His emotions. Okay, but his emotions got to him, and I brought out the real demon. I brought out the OG demon.
How you feel?
But he
next
still
day?
lost. He got disqualified. That's my victory. I got it.
How'd you feel the next day? Did you remember to use ice?
I honestly don't remember that match much. But listen, that's not the problem.
I don't figure you remember a whole lot.
And then,
kind of hard when you're cloudy-eyed.
But then I went on to LAW and at Cease and Desist, and I went against a jabroni, honestly, and
Soapbox Jones, yeah, Soda Pop Jones or something like that. Soapbox Jones, whatever it was.
It was a walk in the park. It was nothing, and I beat him too. So I'm on a winning streak here.
So are you meaning to tell us that you're really more have in common with Goldberg than anybody else? Because you seem to keep winning match after match here. You're on a streak. I mean,
I'm unstoppable.
All due respect, Wyatt Black has a little bit more arsenal than maybe 2 or 3 moves.
He certainly does, but he is going to be dealing with Michael McMoney, who was very adamant last week about that hybrid championship. And Wyatt, you may have momentum, but can this momentum carry you next Saturday?
I think that not only is the momentum going to carry me, I think that the moment, the stake that is in the hybrid tournament, and with it being the memorial show, I think that alone is going to carry me to the top where I belong. I deserve this hybrid title. I have been working for almost a year. My entire career has been dedicated to this title because of what this title means. And if McMoney wants to say he's the best and he can take on anyone from the future, the past, the present, whatever, I am the future. And come May 17th, he is going to be going against the future, and he is not putting into consideration what the Controversy King has in store for him.
Well, those might be valid points, but he's also chasing history. He wants to be a Grand Slam champion. That's a very, very rarefied air in our
years
sport.
Across his belt too, whereas you've only been in there with people that's only been in the business for a few years, 10 or less. This guy's got 20 plus years under his belt.
He's got hundreds upon hundreds of matches under his belt for sure.
Who's Wildcat? You just said I've only been in the ring with people who've only been here.
Judo Jones. Yeah, I mean, you got Judo Jones under your belt. You got Judo Jones. You got Wildcat. You got Damian Abel.
You got Wildcat. I didn't know how long Judo has been doing it.
For like 2 years, something.
So you got a little bit of an edge. Okay, so but all right. So enough about that. This is right now.
There's a little bit of an age difference between Wildcat and McMoney, though.
Yeah,
and you didn't make it near as personal with. I mean, you did with his daughter, but you're making this real personal with him and his son.
His son is nothing. Michael McMoney II has to ride off of his father's legacy. Well, his father's legacy to get to where he's at.
So are you trying to say that you're going to have a better legacy than both when you win the hybrid championship? Is that what you're trying to say?
I am the most decorated superstar in all of WVWF history, no matter the letter that was at the last of WVW, okay? I am going to be the best that this company has ever seen in the, almost 30 years it's been running?
Ooh, those are some big words.
Well, I mean, Mr. Black, I know that you certainly are the controversial one, and those are some definitely strong words, but you've got to obviously still get past this man that was very adamant about you.
Not to mention, if you get past him, you got to get past one of the two others. What makes you more deserving than them?
Well, see, the thing is me and James Enoch, we have a bond. We're close.
But it's every man for themselves.
Absolutely. That's what I was getting ready to say.
Me and him through war together with Aaron James. I helped him with Aaron James. He may have not seen eye to eye with me, but I helped him. So I feel like me and Enoch, I honestly feel like it's going to be one hell of a fight, and it's going to be a brotherly
battle. It is, but I think at the end of the day, if you're in the finals, you're in the finals. It doesn't matter if you're facing Dax Preacher or James Enoch. It's every man for themselves,
Honestly, I think,
and there's gold waiting on you. Prestigious gold. It's in the name of somebody that you respect greatly.
Yeah,
they respect him as well.
Yeah, but I think that even if it's Enoch, but I think if it's Dax, the underdog in this situation, because he just won the Mountain State title. Yep. So if he goes on to the finals, he could very well win the hybrid title and be a double division champion. But
double champion, yeah.
If Dax gets to the finals, and I'm not even going to say if, because I know I'm going to. When I get to the finals, and if Dax is there, I'm ending Beefomania. And I'm going to walk out hybrid champion.
Well, boy, Wyatt Black is certainly saying a mouthful here. There's no question that he is definitely saying plenty here. But Wyatt, I have a lot of respect for you. Certainly, you've been getting some big wins.
Somebody call McMoney. Let him weigh in.
You know what? I haven't heard from Mr. McMoney. He was here last week, and I think Mr. Black is here to respond to that. Of course, McMoney's always welcome here on Sportswire. All he has to do is send the bat signal. I mean, we'd love to see that here on Sportswire for a few minutes. I mean, seriously, all he'd have to do is send the bat signal. But yeah,
interesting for a guy that looks like Penguin.
Well, that's why I put it out there. But I mean, should you be giving this amount of maybe material for your opponents to get fired up for? We're just now, if you think about it, we're 10 days and we're 10 days out. I mean, are you sure this is the route, Wyatt, you want to continue to take? Just wondering.
I think that personally, it is time to nut up or shut up. I have everything weighing.
Those words are familiar.
For May 17th. I have everything weighing on me. Not only my entire career, not only the fact that this is a title that I've been chasing, Ryan James' legacy, everything is weighing on this. But I think it's time to nut up and shut up, or shut up.
I think it's time to shut up and nut up and wrestle.
I feel like Mick
How's the shoulder?
Needs to get his balls out of Pav Novak's purse and get to May 17th and get his head in the game. Because if not, it's going to be an easy victory for the Controversy King.
Well, I mean, look, obviously, you certainly are the Controversy King. You are certainly controversial. There's no question about what you say. I don't know what this will mean for next Saturday, other than the fact that I'm very excited to see this match and the rest of the card. And maybe for your advantage, but before I let you go here in a few minutes, do you think, Wyatt Black, that this is almost your, I don't know, coming out party here next Saturday? Because I know you've been building. You got the wins over Wildcat, ending his career. Judo Jones win. You got the win over Damian Abel. You got a win here at Cease and Desist. But do you feel like that this is almost like this is the moment for you next Saturday where you can show on this stage such an important show with a lot of emotions that Wyatt Black, not only is he this Controversy King that says different things, but now he's a major player and he's not just talk, he walks the walk.
I mean, exactly. I feel like, with the fact that my career is coming up to almost 1 year in matches, I feel like in the recent months, ever since December, ever since retiring Wildcat, I have been on a steady incline. I have not stopped. No gas, no brake, all gas, no brakes. Okay. I'm always on top. And I feel like with the win against Damian Abel and the win against Wildcat and all the people that I've gone against, I feel like I am unstoppable at this point.
What about the loss to Riku St. Helen?
And Riku St. Helen is nothing anymore. She's gone. I injured her. She dead. Gonzo. She's going to hospital somewhere.
Well, I mean, we'll obviously see. Certainly, we hope that she gets well and she eventually gets out there. We want to see everybody get out there and do these things and represent the WWF. Yes.
I got one more thing, Tom. I think.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Double O, be quiet. I think that I am going to show not only to the WWF universe and not only to everyone that has doubted me, but I will prove that it doesn't take 8 title matches like it did for Riku St. Helen, and she still hasn't been champion. It only takes 1 for the Controversy King to become champion and prove everybody wrong. Even St. Helen's father, Carl.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, there's no question that we've had names, as I said when you were on here the first time, that either have controversial or controversy before their first names, like Kato, the controversial one, who's here later this week, and this guy, Anthony Steele, who definitely is a man that has shut down wrestling companies, a man that has held major championships, a man that, I mean, he is literally, figuratively, and literally shut people down where they never were heard from again. You are definitely almost maybe you are doing as good a job to follow them up, and maybe, to not steal a phrase that I used a few weeks ago when you first came on here, maybe you are not the Gary Cherone of those 3 names, the famous, not so famous third singer of Van Halen, who had to try to fill the footsteps of these guys, David Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar, and Kato and Anthony Steele are, pretty big names in this platform. They're the guys that have built us to where they are today. They're the guys that have lived up to the monikers of controversial or controversy inside and outside the ring. And you have a chance, Sir Wyatt Black, next Saturday to maybe live up to those names, live up to being the Controversy King, and maybe you deserve to be that should you win that hybrid championship. But if you don't, you know what? We'll see. Yes, go ahead.
I think that this is my closing statement. I think I win May 17th if I walk out hybrid champion.
I like how you're saying if.
I'm going to bring relevancy back to that title. I mean, for the love of God, it was on Prodigy for what? Almost a year?
He's here in the chat. Yeah, he's here in the chat.
He defended like 3, 4. I'm going to make that title the workhorse title. I am going to make that title mean something. And for LAW, just so we can touch on this
yes,
a little,
we have a show. We have a show coming up on Memorial Day. Yes.
am going to prove myself. Honestly, throw anyone at me. Throw Courtney Wood in the ring. Honestly, I don't care.
You don't want to do that. No. You don't want to do. Why would you want to have a match with Courtney Wood? Considering the and by the way, I'm announcing Courtney's here Sunday night at 9:30. Courtney's going to definitely be fired up now. I mean, you're going to certainly give her some reasons to certainly want to throw the book at you and some. You don't want to do that.
What's your problem with Courtney anyway?
Well, I don't. She's a goon. Double L, she's a goon.
She's going to be here Sunday night, and she's going to come here with hellfire and brimstone. You know, Wyatt, it's Mother's Day, but she ain't going to be in a Mother's Day-like mood, especially what you're saying. I mean, you're giving her plenty of fire here tonight, plenty of material.
The thing is with
that's the problem. That's what he does. That he gives people fire.
Well, I mean, it's good for my platform, but I don't know if it's good for him. I mean, I want to see everybody do well, but I mean, Wyatt, I mean,
the thing with LAW, with Courtney Wood, with McMoney, everybody involving there, I'm laying out the challenge. I want the best of the best. I don't care if it's Dave Jameson.
But he was here Sunday night. I mean, he was very vocal about his.
Better not name drop too much.
Heck, I don't care if it's La El Shaddai.
No, Wyatt. Listen, I like you, but that's, I don't know if you're ready for that yet.
I don't care. LAW is being put on notice, so is WVWF. And with that being said, Tom and Double L, I think this is the perfect time for me to say adios.
I think you should definitely exit stage left, to quote one of my favorite Rush live albums. It is time. Let's end it on a high note. You are definitely the controversy, but I got one more thing for you, White. I'll tell you what, I'm going to make a deal with you because, you come here and you say different things, but I'm the guy that's certainly going to have something else to say in a few minutes, which is an announcement. But if you win the hybrid championship next Saturday, right? Obviously you talk about different things. I'm going to raise the stakes. You win that championship next Saturday, I'll bring you right back onto Sportswire Radio immediately right afterwards, and we'll let you have a victory celebration live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. So you got something extra to fight for. So that's up to you.
Sparkling cider. We can't say bubbly. I'm underage.
Yeah, we don't want to do bubbly here because
a little bit of sparkling cider is what I meant.
Yes, but yes. So that's what's gonna now you're gonna fight for. So if you can walk away and win that championship, I'll bring you right back, and we will have a victory celebration.
You better book it for Saturday because I'm winning that title.
Well, you're in the ring on Saturday. We'll probably do it the next day.
Well, Sunday, Saturday, Monday. I don't care.
Well, that's that's Sunday. What was that?
How about the second Tuesday of next week?
Well, we're having the show the 17th, so the second
Tuesday, the second Tuesday of next week.
Well, we'll see. I'll tell you what. Let's certainly we'll figure it out. Mr. Controversy King, it is nice to see you again. I'm sure I'll see you soon, and we'll see if you can win that hybrid championship. Thank you for coming by, and we'll see you soon.
I may have
next time. Okay, you have a good night. I know you got to get to school in the morning, curfew, allowance, different things like that. Your parents probably want you to go to bed, so I'm going to not get you in trouble. Thank you for your time. We'll see you soon. That was the Controversy King, Wyatt Black, who probably does have to get up early in the morning for school. He may not want to get grounded by his parents because, well, we want to see him wrestle on May 17th, and we'll see if he does bring that hybrid championship here to Sportswire Radio. I have a feeling, though, that Dax Preacher, James Enoch, and most certainly Michael McMoney
he's got 3 roadblocks he's got to get through.
3 very big roadblocks. Yep. And I think all 3 of those men are going to want that championship, but time will certainly tell. There's a lot to get to here. I want to get to the chat. A lot of people want to talk to you. I want to give them the opportunity. I have a chat. I want to give the West Virginia Wrestling Federation a little something here shortly. So let me get to those things. Thank you for our friends here in Blood and Honor Wrestling. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you hit the sub button for us, hit the sub button for the WVWF, and great stuff. Looking forward to this one. Thank you for sharing our product. Here's to many more in the future. Yes, and that's what we're all about here. All wrestling matters. And hit the sub button for the WVWF. We love our friends here in West Virginia. I love West Virginia, even though I haven't been there, but I definitely love West Virginia.
You should
And
come down
thank you.
sometime.
You know what? I should, but I was happy I made it here first. But yes, we love West Virginia. We love Zilla. She is our resident chatter. This guy here has said we need someone to call out Ricochet. Thank you very much. But this is the West Virginia Wrestling Federation show. Hit the sub button for them. Thanks for coming by. Wyatt Black, who was here and definitely said that, but he was just here, so you got the point. And of course, as always, he is certainly, again, very, very much in his mood as the controversy king. He also wanted to say, here, my good old pal Lester is here. Have to see what he's about to say. And, well, he kind of pretty much just said that. Courtney is here. Courtney is here Sunday night, 9:30. Courtney, I'm sure, will respond and some to Wyatt Black.
I'm sure she will.
And, yes, my mic went out, but we have a new USB, and we should be good to go. That is Daniel Tafua, the chosen one. I'm sure you've heard of Daniel Tafua. Maybe he'd be somebody I might want to see in that battle royal. Interesting name. He certainly had a lot to say with Wyatt. By the way, he's got some beef with Wyatt Black.
Absolutely. I've watched. I've saw.
Got some beef with Wyatt Black. He's got history with Dave Jamieson, who's going to be on the card.
That might be an LAW thing.
That could be. That's a good point. But you never know. Guys like this, maybe they would show up to the battle royal. You never know.
You never know.
Hello. We love Double L. Yes, we do. Yes, yes, yes. And Courtney wants to say this. The West Virginia GOAT. Hashtag. The West Virginia GOAT. Michael McMoney will win the Hybrid Championship, the only title he's never held in the WVWF, and will become a Grand Slam champion. That is a lot to compete for. Double O, I've been doing this a long time. I've had on Rhino, Savio Vega. I'm going to announce here in a few minutes another name on par to those individuals. I have had some of the biggest names in rock and heavy metal. I've been in Blabbermouth 3 times, which is basically the heavy metal version of Rolling Stone. And to win a Grand Slam, that is a big deal. Very few men in our sport win a Grand Slam, and Michael McMoney is competing for that. And that might mean more than any words Wyatt Black has said here tonight or previously.
Yeah, he's definitely got a lot to gain here.
It's history. I mean, again, very few guys in our sport win a Grand Slam championship. So that's what he's competing for. And I think that that's going to be something we're going to be paying attention to. Courtney doesn't like Wyatt Black, and Wyatt Black doesn't like Courtney Wood. We can certainly see that. I want to say hello to my very good buddy, Mr. Doc Holliday, the legendary Doc Holliday, who, of course, is an influential member of the old GBYWN days. He was the Riot in the Ring winner, and he is reporting for duty, and I hope he reports to coming on my platform soon live in Double L's chair. In the meantime, Courtney responds, Goon, question marks, twice. How dare you, question mark. Get it out while you can, Wyatt Black. You have an expiration date, May 17th. McMoney ends you. I mean, if his shelf life is only 10, 11 days.
Possibility, but at the same time, I mean, Wyatt Black has, if you watch the behind the curtains, he has been putting in the work.
He's been putting the work in. He's got wins, and, this is the kind of guy that you never know.
He's definitely progressing.
I'll tell you what. I mean, listen, like I said, I've had on.
I hate to say it publicly, but I am proud of the kid.
Well, you know what? Listen, and I say it again. We've had on 2 guys that have controversy tied to their names. And I'm friends with a guy, Jimmy Controversy. So let's make that 3. And those guys, Cato, Anthony Steele, and Jimmy Controversy, are major players. And they're major players in building my platform. And certainly Wyatt Black, if he wins that hybrid championship next Saturday, he deserves to be in that same discussion as those names. But again, time will tell because he's got 3 roadblocks, as you correctly pointed out. Wyatt Black definitely gets the boo birds out, and sending my thoughts and prayers to Ryan James and his family, and they're going to honor him most certainly coming up next Saturday. Just because I love that hat, Lester has gained a new fan. So somebody liked the hat. I know Courtney wasn't a big fan of it, but Doc Holliday liked it, which is always good. Who is Ryan James? We answered that throughout the conversation. A very important person in the wrestling scene in West Virginia and the history of the WVWF. Stop making fun of McMoney for crying. Real men cry, which I think we were talking about you crying or some sort, but we'll move on. I don't remember what exactly in the segment we talked about, but we don't want anybody to cry because, well, I have an announcement that I'd like to share that hopefully people will want to tune in for. I'll miss the real Aaron James. I want Chaos Incarnate back. Well, who knows?
He may have to go to that to
33%
retain.
chance of winning. Listen, 33.3% chance of retaining that championship. I had Ramrock on here at a 25% chance 2 weeks ago in Arizona and lost the title. So we'll see if those odds certainly catch up to the one and only Aaron James.
I mean,
the Prodigy is here.
Everybody evolves. Everybody evolves. There's
That's
still some old with the new.
That's it.
Look at me.
Hello to Damian Abel with the W. I want to say hello to my guest here coming up Saturday, who I shared his promo for. Really enjoyed his promo. That is Silas Walker. He is the DBW Global Champion, and I'm excited for him. He'll be here 8 o'clock on Saturday. Very excited to have him back for the first time in 4 months. Hello to the Loveable Lester. So you have somebody here that would like to say hello. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you so much. Hit the sub button for our friends in the WVWF. We would appreciate that very much. Hello to Silas. Yes, yes, yes. What you'll see with Prodigy isn't a gimmick. This is me 24/7, and in that battle royal, I will prove why I am who I say I am. And as long as Loveable Lester calls it down the middle as the general manager, he and I will be cool.
And he is what he says he is, absolutely. And he's a man of few words, which surprises me that there's so many there.
Well, I mean, that sometimes people have to put
he lets his actions speak for himself. I mean,
well, there's a famous song from a band called Extreme that it's called More Than Words, and well, he put more than a few words there. So
absolutely,
it was a great song, and thank you for the great comments. Who is Aaron James? He is the WVWF champion. Let's just put it that way. He is the reigning, defending WVWF champion, and you are going to most certainly want to check out the WVWF Facebook page, and you're going to want to most certainly check out more from our friends here in the WVWF very, very soon. So that's who he is. Let me get to some more comments because I got to get a lot in with you in the next 20 or 30 minutes. Thank you for that. We appreciate that. That's cute. Double L. I'm the loudest in any crowd. That's obviously Courtney took offense to that.
Well, that was past tense.
Okay, past tense. There you go.
Absolutely, that was past tense.
Okay, all right, then that's okay. We'll give everybody a pass, right? Ox McCoy is in the house, the IMF Hardcore Champion. He will be here Thursday night, and I am very much looking forward to our counterparts in the West Virginia area, the IMF, who have a Rage in the Cage show next Saturday coming up this week. You guys have next Saturday. They have this Saturday, so it's a great time to be on Sportswire. You guys are first. They're here Thursday. They're going to be in the ring this coming Saturday. You're in the ring the following Saturday. And LAW's next Monday after that. So we are packed here with plenty of wrestling coverage. And that's what we're about. Somebody would like to say, and I think that is Damian Abel. Very interesting chat. And he's hearing those words, and that's maybe going to motivate him to walk away with that WVWF championship here next Saturday. You never know. And that certainly gets the Prodigy getting a little bit riled up, and I could certainly see. Greatest, maybe he needs to catch up in title reigns, but all due respect, hope he's ready for Wyatt Black. And I think he's talking about Michael McMoney. So we'll have to see. I mean, we got to get past.
Prodigy and Wyatt Black they're kind of getting a little close, if you know what I mean.
I could see that, but you know what? Everybody's still got to focus on what's at hand.
Yes.
Yeah, Courtney's very upset about that, and Courtney's going to probably explain and explode next Sunday.
Oh, I can imagine, and
yeah.
I see why. I mean,
understandable. Yeah,
we wasn't even talking about her, and he had to go say that. I mean,
well, that's why he's
woman.
the controversy king.
Yeah,
well, that's you know what. That's what Anthony Steele and Cato have done on here. But those men have backed it up. They have done some major things in the wrestling world. Has Wyatt Black done that? Probably not, but he has a chance next Saturday. But yeah, Courtney is very hot about it, and she's going to tell us a lot more about it Sunday night. Wyatt Black will carry the era of the hybrid title on, which you correctly pointed out their sort of feelings. Thank you. Thanks for coming by, but this is not the episode for that. Yes, Lester definitely did do that. And we got some emojis. Can you stop with the Ricochet comment? I appreciate you, but this is not the show. Someone call McMoney. Yeah, I mean, we'd love to have him on, but I know he'll be back here probably right around the 17th or just after it. So he'll definitely tell us anyway what's on his mind. So maybe when Wyatt Black makes it to the finals, I might have to make sure WVWF fades to black. Okay, well, stay tuned.
Awful nice of him putting him over after.
Now, Courtney's very testy with me tonight. Penguin, that's big talk coming from a grown man dressed as a 1920s train conductor for whatever reason.
Hey, and I can also do this.
Wow, so I guess you guys do have a railroad system in West Virginia. I wouldn't know, but let's get to more comments I also wouldn't know of yet. Well, damn, I've given you credit, Black. Okay, Wyatt Black versus Courtney Wood. I mean,
well, that'd be interesting.
Who do you have? I mean, in that match,
I'd say on the mic. I'd say
on the mic.
Pair him up.
They could, you know what? We do promo wrestling on Sportzwire. Maybe they could do like a promo wrestling match. Apparently,
yeah, do that.
You know, we could do that. Yeah. Have you lost your mind? Well, that's a good point. Yeah, I think that's the case. What about the controversy?
I had to have it before I could lose it.
Yeah. And miss you, love you, Loveable Lester. So there you go. How you doing? Yep, long time, y'all. Yep, thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Hit the sub button for our friends in the WVWF and also hit the sub button for us. Let me get to Damian Abel. I had nothing to lose beating the hell out of Wyatt Black. My sights are set much higher this time. I will win the heavyweight championship in the name of my brother, Ryan James. Some good words, some very strong words, and
yeah, they used
very
to be
testy show tonight on Sportswire Radio. And Wyatt Black, apparently, it is not past his bedtime because he has this.
Still going.
He's still going, and you know what? He's going to keep going until next Saturday. Damian, you don't deserve that title, but in respect for Ryan, I'll let you have that moment. But trust me, if you conquer the king, I'm here. I'll get my revenge. Well, who knows? Who knows? Champion versus champion, or maybe not. Next time, Wyatt Black, you will not walk out. You will not walk out. Well,
he barely did last time.
Well, he walked out with a W, though. He did walk out with a W. That's all I'm going to certainly say. But let me get to a few more comments before I present the WVWF with something. Is this guy 30 or 75? I would have to think that you're not 75 years old, but I'm not going to ask you of your age. But
I'm 43. But
I wasn't going to ask, but thank you for telling us. We do appreciate that. But hey, 75. There are people out there. There's a guy, Sammy Hagar, who's 77 years old, and he's still screaming on the top of his lungs for 2 hours.
I mean, look at Ric Flair. He's still going strong.
Ric Flair is 75 and just said on X the other day that he's living for another 30 years. I mean, so, that's what he proclaimed. But nice to meet everybody here. We have a lot more comments. Want to say hello, you too, Zilla. Okay, thank you. Want to say hello to my buddy Nolan Money McDermott, not to be confused with Michael McMoney from the state of Florida. Good evening. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much. Hello. I let him walk out with a W. He let him walk out with a W.
He really did. I mean, he
listen.
Qualified himself.
90% of the match was Damian Abel in firm control, but the record books are what they are. The record books are what they are. But I think it's time for me to present the WVWF something. I'd like to do something a little special. I see I have a lot of people here, and I've only got a little bit more time with you. I got to run through a few more matches. And I want to share my screen because officially today, on May 6th, 2025, it is West Virginia Wrestling Federation Day. So congratulations to everybody here in the WVWF. It is your day. Thank you for all you do for our sport. I hope that we can have more coverage of you guys in the foreseeable future and being regularly a part of Sportswire Radio's platform. And I will most certainly give you guys this certificate when we're off the air. And thank you for everything that you do for our sport. It is companies like the WVWF. You mentioned it. You guys have a lot of heart. You guys are blue collar, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and that's all I know. And that's how I've scrapped my way to companies like yours and getting here with the big boys. So I will give this to you, but this is really for you and the rest of the WVWF roster. Thank you for all you do for our sport, and this is for you guys.
We do our best.
That's it. The best is yet to come. And before I do get into some more WVWF coverage, I did want to make my own announcement that we will have on here this coming Friday a man that, let's just say, he was a founding father of a company that was extreme. A man that you might want to say was a part of one of the greatest tag teams in wrestling history. A man that you might want to say has got a book out that's going to most certainly change the game. A man that has certainly done it all. And a man that I'm talking about that is coming live to Sportswire Radio in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform where most certainly all music and wrestling matters. Pitbull #1, Gary Wolf, the legendary former ECW. That's right, ECW. ECW television champion, one half of those ECW tag team champions, the Pitbulls, is coming live to Sportswire Radio. And he's going to talk about, he was just in the ring this past weekend, teaming up with a longtime rival. That's right. This guy, Shane Douglas, and he's going to talk about his amazing history. He's going to talk about those wars with Shane Douglas. He's going to talk about the halo that he had for all those months, breaking his neck and not needing surgery. And he's going to talk about wrestling Terry Funk. He's going to talk about kind of finding the Sandman. He's going to talk about the Monster Factory, which, I don't know, produced the likes of, how about this guy, The Godfather? We're not going to repeat that part where it's before the train. We're not going to do that. We're not going to certainly talk about that, but we're going to talk about more names that came out of the Monster Factory, like the Beast from the East, Bam Bam Bigelow. How about the Headbangers? How about a slew of others that the one and only Pitbull Gary Wolf trained alongside and came up in certainly even his time in the WWF and, wrestling in New Zealand against the British Bulldogs, being in Japan, you name it, this man's done it all. He's going to be here live on Sportswire Radio. We're going to talk about all of it here this coming Friday. So there you have it. Another legend comes to Sportswire Radio, another legend that's decided they want to come here. They want to be here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage. And guess what? We don't pay for these shows. We don't ask people. He came on here. We spoke with the man, and he's going to be here. It's a real honor, and I'm very excited about it. And I hope if you like what you hear from Double L, the Loveable Lester, you tune in Friday night for the one and only Pitbull Gary Wolf. But obviously, there you have it. We have Gary Wolf on. We've got you for a little while longer, sir. And I want to talk about all things related here. Well, I got a little bit more time with the West Virginia Wrestling Federation. And I want to talk about Dave Jamieson, my guy Dave Jamieson, a man that I have certainly known very well. I've known him before LAW. I've known him before WVWF, and he is going to also, I see, be in the ring with the collective. And let's talk about Dave Jamieson, the USWA Keystone State Champion, who's going to be here on the 17th.
I mean, he's a very talented guy. I mean, I've got the pleasure of watching him a few times. He definitely has a lot to offer to wrestling and, this industry. I mean, he definitely can get in there and go.
He can mix it up. No, listen, I've seen him in different places, and he's certainly, I think I said it Sunday night, he's really evolved in just 5 months. I had him on here 5 months ago. He was timid, and, he was certainly,
he was
let's just say, but now he's a superstar, and there's no question that he's going to show that here with the collective and him and Ampo, and they're going to be up against the Steel Brothers, and the Steel Brothers are going to certainly have a lot on their minds, and it's going to be a banger, let's just say figuratively and literally.
Absolutely. I mean, I got the pleasure of watching the Steel Brothers come up
Sure.
From their first match till now. They've definitely improved quite a bit since then as well. I mean, it should be one heck of a match. And like I said at the beginning, we're trying to put on a show that Ryan would be proud of. So everybody's coming and bringing their A game.
Oh, I mean, listen, all these matches, are going to certainly be a game, call it. They're going to be just classics and bangers. And again, Dave Jamieson and Ampo certainly have plenty to prove. They were in the ring this past week in an SCW. We spoke a little bit about that on Sportswire Radio with Day, and I'm sure Day is going to be back here to talk about this. And the Steel Brothers, like you said, they've been very impressive in their own right. The collective, the Steel Brothers, this is going to be a banger, and both teams are going to want to win. And another reason why you should come out to 325 7th Street, doors open, 6 o'clock in Parkersburg, West Virginia, to watch the Ryan James Memorial.
Yeah.
Another great reason to watch it. And definitely, I know that Dave Jamieson will, after his victory over Timothy Titan, look to continue that momentum, and we'll certainly have to find out more of that. I wanted to talk about this because Phoebe Harper is a name that Courtney has talked about a lot here. We have a big women's championship match. I'm going to put the poster up here for it shortly as I always like to say, the hockey line change. But let's talk about our women's championship match here for a few minutes, and what can we expect, Double L?
Yeah, I mean, the women's division's really starting to take off here in WVWF. We're very proud of that. I'm proud of all the women involved.
Good.
That match there come about because some way, somehow, Jade May got herself involved in the match, and against Phoebe and Brittany, and she won the title. Then Phoebe won it from Jade. Now Jade wants it back. So there's a lot going on with the women's division. If you're watching, there may not be very many of them right now, but I mean, they're definitely putting on pretty good matches.
For sure.
And yeah, Phoebe Harper, she's a little firecracker.
Well,
But
you know what?
as she said,
Yep,
she doesn't need that title. She doesn't want that title to prove who she is. Because she's got the mindset that the title doesn't make the person makes the title. And that might very well be the reason she retains. But Jade May really wants that gold back, and
we saw
she's coming
Jade
hard for it.
before, in the video for Behind the Ring April
Yes.
Warfare. So Jade is definitely going to be fired up here. There's no
Yes.
question that the women's championship right now is almost a battle of hot potato, but Phoebe Harper has the title, and it remains to be seen if she keeps it. But she's the incumbent, and it's going to be a great match. And I agree with you completely, Double L, that it's great to see women's wrestling, and especially in the WVWF, because we love to see what the women do. We know our friends in LAW have some of the premier women's wrestlers out there, and it's great to see the WVWF also have some of the very best up-and-coming stars and some of the very best women's wrestlers around. And I am very excited to see what happens between Jade May and Phoebe Harper. And I'm sure Courtney is going to add a few minutes on this, because she's talked about this match, and she's talked about Phoebe Harper and others in the WVWF here on Sportswire.
Yep. And some of these women go over to our sister show, MMW, which the first one happened last Saturday. I think the next one's August 9th. And that's just a show that Brock put together to kind of showcase the women and their talent, so they just don't get lost in the mix of WVWF. They have a platform to show off, how far they've come and all their achievements, and then they can just, showcase themselves on that show, basically.
That's a great point. And we're here with the Double L, the Loveable Lester. He is the general manager for the West Virginia Wrestling Federation. We're here for about 15 or so more minutes. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally, where all music and wrestling matters. Please follow the WVWF on Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to put the YouTube page up here before we sign off here. And we're here a little while longer with the Loveable Lester. I want to talk about your sister company and how important they are in terms of giving WVWF superstars that opportunity to get more opportunities, and to use that word again, to showcase what they can do in the ring.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, because a lot of times, I mean, a few of the women wrestlers that came that's been around, had said to some of our local women, it's kind of like a man's game out there. And this show is something new and different that they don't have to compete with that. They can go out there, showcase what they've learned, what they can do, and everything, and just be all women and not be overshadowed by anything else. And I think it's really good for our women's division to be able to do that. Like I said, they're really putting it in. I mean, you'll see in those videos, the behind the curtains ones,
Yep.
that training and trying the best they can to get better at what they do. Just like a bunch of the other talent which you'll see in there. I think it's something new and fresh, and gives a new thing for the fans to come out and enjoy and watch and get behind. And like I said, I support all local indie wrestling the best I can.
Same here. Listen, I know what you're saying. It's very important to give people an opportunity and support them. And there's no question that we want to see the women out there and the hard work that they're putting out there pay off. And I certainly believe that we'll see that here, and we'll certainly see that in the WVWF, and we'll certainly see more of behind the ring shows. And I'm very excited to see some of that. And yeah, we'll see that. So the next show will be in August, correct?
For the MMW, yes.
Yep, so that's great. We'll definitely talk more about that. Let me get to some more comments. I'll say this: if I don't win the Nate Thompson Memorial Battle Royal, I might give the stupid fans what they want, and I might walk away. That's a big might. Well, let's hope you don't walk away, because I might want to talk to you here on the platform. So let's hope that you don't walk away.
That'd be interesting. If you can get him to talk on here, you're doing better than me on a train station.
You know what? Who knows, right? You never know at this point. But who's Phoebe Harbour? She is the WVWF Women's Champion, and Jade May is competing against her next Saturday. So that is
and
who
if
Phoebe
you ask
Harbour
her,
is.
that's all you need to know.
And you know what? That's plenty, I think, for the audience. And Zilla loves the Prodigy. We appreciate him, and yes, they are. Lore and WVWF have been talked about here quite a bit on Sportswire, and you just seen Wyatt Black is there at Lore, and he's here in WVWF. We had Michael McMoney, and we just saw Dave Jamieson on the screen. We've seen a number of different crossover talents in the WVWF. Yes. So yes, there is definitely a strong relationship, and that's great. That's what I'm all about,
And speaking of crossover talent, I mean, HPW is a new up and coming company around here. I believe their first show will be August 16th at the Parkersburg Homecoming. If anybody's interested in that, I have not heard a time yet, but like I said, I'll try to put over all the local talent and companies.
Yep.
That's a lifelong dream of those guys. From way back, and they're finally trying to bring it to light. So proud of them for stepping out of their comfort zone and trying to make that happen. So
amen.
Not to veer off or anything, but
no. Listen, I think that's obviously very important. Everybody, it's not easy to go out there. I have all the respect in the world for all the wrestlers and everybody behind the scenes that puts these shows together. We're so appreciative and so grateful for companies like the WVWF to be certainly a part of this platform, and certainly Mr. Lester obviously does his own interview skills. Obviously, I can't hold a candle. Well, I can't hold a candle to people like you and Courtney. That's why I constantly want to retire and quit of Sportswire. Maybe I'll let you, the Loveable L, take over Sportswire, and we'll move on here.
That'd be some big shoes to fill, buddy. You do.
Yeah, I hear that a lot, but maybe who knows? You never say
Courtney
never.
might be better at that one.
I think Courtney will not want to come back.
Stuff. She helps us out quite a bit with the recaps and everything. And
yes, I did notice that. Yes, the recaps.
She does a very good job on that.
She mentioned them here a couple of times. I've had her here about 4 or 5 different times, and those recaps are really helpful because it lets you paint the picture of what's out there, and they're very helpful to us on this platform. And we love hearing about new companies. And yeah, you never know. Maybe Law and WVWF will work together, but their wrestlers are certainly in both companies. And who knows? Listen, never say
And in
never.
the same building, just different days.
That's it. That's all. You know what? That's all it is. But yes, well, we've actually talked about the WVWF on Sportswire, but this is the first time you're really getting a chance in depth to hear what this company has to offer. And I hope people, before we sign off here, really go hit the Facebook button, like for the WVWF. Go hit the share and subscribe button here on YouTube, Instagram out there. Please support our friends in the WVWF. All it takes is a simple subscribe, like this video, like their videos. It's not hard. It takes just one or two seconds, and all you have to do is support that notification button. You can get notified on all things related to the WVWF, and we appreciate what this company has to offer. And we're very excited about what is to come next Saturday. We have the Ryan James Memorial Show. We have the Battle Royal. We've got the world title match. The hybrid tournament certainly is still ramping up. We saw that from Wyatt Black here. We've got the Steel Brothers and the Collective. We've got the women's title. So just so many great things that the WVWF has to offer. Like I said, we got the World Championship on the line. We got the Women's Championship on the line. We've got the Hybrid Championship to have a new champion crowned. We've got tag team wrestling. We've got a battle royal, and who knows whatever else. So that's why you have to support the WVWF. And oh, by the way, it is WVWF Day here on all Sports Wire radio platforms. So great stuff there. Before I let you go, Double L, is there anything else that you want to share, promote, or talk about that we've missed out here on by any chance tonight?
I think we covered most of it. I mean, I just want everybody to just come out and support these guys and girls and everything. I mean, I hope to see all of them keep progressing and getting better. I mean, you mentioned Riku St. Helen there earlier. I'd like to see sometime in the near future her get the push she needs, and gets in there and finds out who she is, and really gets in there and digs in and goes for it. And there's a bunch of them there. I mean, Nate Steele's kind of stepping out of his comfort zone, and becoming his own person a little more. I mean, you got JC Grunge, Josh
Yes.
J. I mean, those guys are lifelong friends of
Yes.
mine. We grew up together. We had this dream to get in here some way, shape, or form, and we have. Um, I mean, I'm trying not to forget anybody, but I mean, we got so much good talent. Everybody just gives their all every time they show up, you know,
That's all
and
it's about. Everybody goes out there, and I say it all the time. They put their blood, sweat, and tears out there, and it's really about the wrestlers. It's about them, and
absolutely,
supporting what they do, because just again, we have Pitbull Gary Wolf coming on later this week, and this is a man that broke his neck and decided that he still wanted to wrestle after that. So
right.
what our wrestlers do, our men and women who go out there every day and they put their lives on the line. So we need to support our wrestlers regardless, and that's what it's about. And especially companies like the WVWF, go on their Facebook page, give them a like, give them a sub, follow on the YouTube page, Instagram, give them a follow, like this video, subscribe, and I'm sure we'll have more WVWF coverage here on the way very soon. But my friend, let me give you the floor. Let me give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say before we sign off? The floor is now certainly yours.
I mean, I can't say it enough. I'm there to help these guys and girls get over, tell their story, help sell their story, and through my interviews and stuff to help the fans connect with them, so that that gives them a platform.
Sure.
When I put that Lester's train station out there, I gave it as a platform for them to be able to tell their stories and communicate to the fans, what's going on, why they're going for this and this and this, and I'm one of them people. Like I said at the beginning, it'll never be about me. It's always going to be about everybody else. You ask my girlfriend Nikki Rose, to anybody in the business. I will put anybody over, like them or not. That is how it is. I mean, you heard how I talked about,
Yep.
Wyatt Black and McMoney. I mean,
Yes, I mean you were
it,
very down the middle. I give you credit.
it
You
is
did
our
show your law
job
and
to
order.
build
Yep.
each other up, not tear each other down,
Yeah.
and that's what this business is built on. Brotherhood
Absolutely.
and sisterhood and everything. And like I said, it's about the talent and the fans,
Absolutely.
because without the fans,
We're
what are we
nothing. Yeah,
doing?
we're nothing.
You
Listen,
know,
without people tuning in, people watching, buying a ticket, we're just basically amongst ourselves, and we want
absolutely.
obviously people to support, and that's
Absolutely.
why
And Wyatt Black has said it numerous times because he's been on here and he never
yes,
shuts up. We are entering a new era at WVWF, and there's stuff
we
going
talked
on that,
about that here when he
yeah,
was here, that
and
there's an
there's stuff
opportunity
going
of
on that's never been done before in West Virginia. So, this is new territory. And, as I said earlier, anything can happen. So keep an eye out.
absolutely. No, listen, I tell you what, we love West Virginia. We love companies like the WVWF, and I've had a few companies other than LAW, in addition to you guys, on here before in the past from West Virginia, and I always certainly want to support our state here, like beautiful West Virginia, especially coming up here next Saturday, 325 7th Street in beautiful Parkersburg, West Virginia, the Richardson Building. It is going to be the Ryan James Memorial Show. We're going to have a battle royal. We're going to have a women's championship match, a world title match. We're going to have a hybrid champion crowned. We're going to have tag team action. We're going to have just pretty much everything you can imagine. That's why you want to support this show coming up. And I'm very excited about the Ryan James Memorial Show. We will definitely have more coverage of it. I'm sure Courtney's going to have plenty to say about this on Sunday. I have no doubt she is going to definitely
That's
respond.
for Courtney.
Yep, yeah, definitely going to be one. But Courtney, people like tuning into Courtney. Courtney is definitely one of my favorites, and the fans are the sheep on a path to the slaughter. That is definitely not to be confused with the band Slaughter. And James Taylor, who was here
Or Sergeant
yesterday,
Slaughter.
yes, Sergeant Slaughter, and James Taylor, who was here yesterday in your chair, wanted to say hello. He also is the man behind Taffy's Lounge, which is got some music playing on his page. Thank you, James, for your support. And yes, we appreciate everybody. And my friend, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to
Thank you.
WVWF. And I will give this to you more off the air. I'll give you the physical copy. And can't wait to talk more about you guys Sunday when Courtney comes on. And I'm sure we'll have some others here, and maybe even Wyatt Black once again, should he win that hybrid championship. So we'll certainly see what happens.
We will see. We will
We
see.
will
He's,
definitely.
like I said, 3 roadblocks in his way.
Well, those are three definitely big roadblocks, but
They absolutely are.
we will most certainly see if he can get past those roadblocks. Time will certainly tell. We'll find out here in a little over 10 days. But this is the Double L, the Loveable Lester. He is the general manager for the West Virginia Wrestling Federation. Check them out on YouTube. Check them out on Facebook. Check them out on Instagram. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally with all music and wrestling matters. I'll be back here Thursday night with the IMF. They will be back here in this chair probably around 10 o'clock Eastern time. They will be here to promote their show, Rage in the Cage, in the Palo Community Center. Friday, we will have a double header. We will have on Chase Wakefield, the Bitcoin billionaire of DBW, VTW, and of course the Chase Wakefield Wedding Invitational, and also that guy, Gary Wolf, the Pitbull Gary Wolf, Pitbull number one half of those legendary Pitbulls who won the ECW Tag Team Championships, former television champion, had a stint in the WWF, had a stint in Japan, and was in New Zealand, wrestled those British Bulldogs, and did a number of other things. He'll talk about that, plus his brand new book. But until then, thank you so much. That's the WVWF YouTube page. Go hit the sub button for them. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever you are. On the number
Got
one.
to do this one.
Yep.
Double L out.
Double L out. There you go. And who's on tomorrow? Stay tuned. But thank you so much. Double L's out. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you so much.